U.S. meets with refiners on high pump expenditures. No plan but resources. Washington. U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm expressed interest in doubtlessly lifting smog-fighting gas regulations to fight excessive pump fees and backed off a plan to prohibit gasoline exports in the course of a wide-ranging assembly with refiners, Enterprise Assets mentioned on Thursday. With tensions high between U.S. President Joe Biden and Big Oil, the two aspects entered the meeting with a promise to paintings together in good religion. They left nevertheless some distance aside on long-term solutions, the industry sources familiar with the talks stated. But both the Energy Department and the assets mentioned talks will retain. Biden, a Democrat, has criticized industry CEOs for reaping big profits from a gas supply crunch exacerbated via Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Biden met in brief with nation officials to talk about growing wind strength on Thursday, but he skipped the assembly with refiners. Granholm struck a conciliatory tone, the sources stated, and mentioned the shortage of viable short-term alternatives to fight excessive costs. An Energy Department spokesperson stated Granholm did no longer inform refiners the management become leaning in the direction of any particular movements because of the meeting. Granholm reiterated that Biden is ready to act quickly and decisively. The use of the gear to be had to him is suitable, the branch mentioned. Industry participants was hoping to convince the management no longer to ban U.S. gas exports to fight file gas expenditures. Granholm all but took the choice off the table as a short-term solution, the resources said. The White House had already been mulling lifting summer season fuel regulations that require refiners and blenders to avoid lower-cost additives like butane to prevent smog. Granholm informed refiners that the White House will speak the difficulty with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the resources stated. It become not at once clear how tons it'd reduce the rate of fuel, but analysts say any alternate might probably be minimal. The common price of fuel was $4.94 in line with gallon on Thursday, according to data from the American Automobile Association, 34 cents more than a month in the past, and $1.87 extra than a year in the past. Refiners reduce ability at some point of COVID-19 crisis shutdowns, however expenses have skyrocketed this year with post-pandemic call for a worldwide gas disaster after Western countries sanctioned Russian oil. ExxonMobil (NYSE), XOM, Chevron (NYSE), CVX, and other refining giants stated a massive bounce in profits at the stop of 2021 and the first region of this 12 months and feature showered shareholders with buybacks and dividends. The White House has centered the refining enterprise's selection to idle approximately 1 million barrel in step with day of manufacturing ability for the reason that 2020, arguing they have to use their bumper income to restart plant life or gadgets and help fill the supply hole that is using up expenditures. Refiners have a patriotic duty to assist with deliver, the White House has mentioned. The meeting Thursday with 7 groups included executives from ExxonMobil, Chevron, Marathon and Phillips 66, NYSE, PSX. Diminished capacity refiners say making an investment in reopening vegetation contains huge financial risks. The Biden administration came into office vowing to shift the US of afar from fossil fuels that contribute to climate trade and has secured billions of greenbacks for the electric car industry. Gretchen Watkins, Shell, Lawn, RDSA, plc's president of U.S. operations who attended the meeting, mentioned Granholm recounted that Shell and other groups have faded refining ability because we're busy converting century-old assets to provide biofuels. Meeting contributors discussed technical, monetary, and coverage hurdles to growing domestic refining capacity and what the organizations are doing to hold current operations competently online, the Energy Department said. They additionally pointed out movements that would boom preparedness on the eastern seaboard as the USAVA moves deeper into the Atlantic typhoon season, it stated. On Wednesday, Biden called on Congress to skip a 3-month suspension of the federal fuel tax. lawmakers within his very own celebration hostile that, pronouncing it can provide little comfort whilst blowing a hole in a highway trust fund budget that the tax funds. A organization of 25 drilling and pipeline industry companies such as the American Petroleum Institute sent a letter to Biden on Thursday urging him to go to America's giant strength resources in advance of a July ride to Saudi Arabia, wherein he is anticipated to encourage the oil-rich United States of America to reinforce output. American-made power solutions are underneath our feet, and we urge you to rethink the gigantic capacity of U.S.